Well, we can take a look at what the papers have been saying about those commemorations in today's press review. I'm joined on set by Deeptika Laurent. Deepti, tell us what you've been finding.
Well, we were focusing more on the reactions from the international press today. Alison, Thursday, of course, marking 10 years since the Paris terror attacks. The Guardian here on its front page, quoting the French president, "The pain remains," it says. France marks 2015 Paris attacks, it says on its front page. El País, the Spanish paper, also going with a headline photo here of Emmanuel Macron and Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo at one of those commemoration ceremonies in the French capital on Thursday. Heading back to the French papers, this is from Le Parisien, which actually in this article here interviews the lead singer of the Eagles of death metal. His name, Jesse Hughes. He was, of course, he and his band were performing at the Bataclan on the night of the attacks. The 53-year-old rocker was invited back to Paris for Thursday's commemoration ceremonies, but he's had a complicated 10 years since those attacks. A year after, in 2016, he caused controversy by suggesting some sort of conspiracy theory around the Paris attacks. These comments he later retracted, and he says the French public forgave him for those comments. He also talks about not having released an album in the last decade. He shows off his new tattoo in commemoration of the Paris attacks, and says that he's also hoping to seek French nationality, saying that he's now irrevocably linked to the French capital. That's in Le Parisien's interview.
Yeah, I can understand that events that really marked all of us who were here in Paris at the time. Deepti, we're going to move on to a story that viewers might have missed this week, but that continues to dominate headlines. This is a chilling so-called human safari that happened during the Bosnian War.
Yeah, the allegations are absolutely horrific, Alison. It took place specifically during the siege of Sarajevo, which to this day still remains the longest siege in the history of Europe. It lasted about 3 years, and during that time, Sarajevo residents were trapped in their own city, flanked in the surrounding mountains by Serb forces. Now, in 2022, a documentary surfaced around these human safaris or Sarajevo safaris. And thanks to the efforts of an Italian writer, Italy has now opened an investigation into chilling allegations that wealthy Italian tourists actually paid to go on these human safaris. So what they did was on Friday, they would leave, head to the border with Slovenia, enter these mountains surrounding Sarajevo, and then pay to shoot at Sarajevo residents, paying more to shoot at children during the weekend. It's absolutely horrific. And allegedly 5 men are accused, with possibly more people also accused from other European nations, including Germany, France, and Britain. Now, in Metro today, this man, he's actually a public speaker and Order of the British Empire recipient, Smeo Besso. He grew up in Sarajevo. His family later emigrated to the UK. He writes here that he confirms he saw these human safaris with his own eyes. He says that learning these new revelations that people actually traveled to Sarajevo simply to kill for pleasure adds a, quote, another layer of personal trauma and dehumanization to a conflict that is already fading from European memory.
Yeah, horrific story. Hopefully the perpetrators will be brought to justice. Deepti, we're going to move on now to some baseball news. The Japanese player Shohei Ohtani has been named the MVP of the National League.
Yeah, for the second time in a row, Shohei Ohtani won MVP of the National League. That's what the Japan Temps tells us now. Ohtani plays for the LA Dodgers. He helped his team win the coveted World Series. He also won the MVP award in the American League in 2021 and 2023. He now holds 4 MVP titles. And all of them he won by unanimous vote, something that no other player has ever done. As the paper notes, his 2024 season here included him becoming the first 50-50 player. That means 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. He also made his pitching debut, so he really is a man of all trades, Alison. But let's end on something a little bit different. It's an article from The Independent today that gives us this new term, Chatfished. It's become the latest dating red flag. It basically means that it's basically getting catfished through AI platforms. What happens is more and more people are using AI to I guess you could say, to pimp their dating profiles, or even help script breakups or fights or arguments in fights, which seems pretty harmless until you get Chatfished. That's when somebody pretends to be someone they're not, or a better version of themselves, using ChatGPT or other AI platforms.
Online dating already so hard.
Yeah,
and
exactly. As if it
even
wasn't already
harder
complicated enough.
Thanks to AI. Deepti, thank you so much for that look through today's papers. That's our press reviewer, Deeptika Laurent.